Hey, it's Mark Andrews with episode 3 of the 2020 OCFOA Plays of the Week. I'm bored out of my mind, so I thought I'd just go and grab some game film. Some of this is from Steve Coover, some of it's from me. And we'll just not going to focus on any one thing today. We're just going to take separate different plays and discuss them. So here we go. All right, this first play comes from San Diego, Steve Coover. This is a really tight game, and as you can see, the crew is in they expect an onside kick. We have 4 officials in the 10-yard neutral zone, bordering the 10-yard neutral zone. So, okay, it's a pop-up kick. I'll play it real time and then we'll go back and look at it. Okay, good job by this crew. We got one guy digging. I'm not sure. I don't like what this official's doing. He needs to be stepping back, making sure, getting players away from this scrum. Same with these two guys. You know, get in there and make yourself present. All right, let them know you're there. They don't just do anything stupid. Nice signal, but it's wrong. And why is it wrong? Because that was an illegal pop-up kick. Now, Steve says the back judge has to kill this play at the inception of the kick when it first pops up above the shoulders of the players. I don't know why it has to be the back judge. I think it could be any of these officials, especially the two guys that are standing on the 50-yard line. They've got a real good perspective on that. So let's go back and look at it again. And I'll play it in slow motion so you can see that it is indeed a pop-up kick. He's going to drive it right into the ground, right there. Now, at that point, there's the ball, right? It's way over everybody's head. There should be flags and whistles going off right now. I don't know why these guys waited. Evidently, they got it right and penalized the kicking team. Remember, this is a dead ball foul, and it's 5 yards, and we're just moving the ball back, and we're re-kicking. All right, let's move on. Okay, let's talk a little mechanics. Take a look at where the ball is. It's inside the 5-yard line, right? So what do we have here? We have, for the flank officials, reverse goal line mechanics. The officials should at the snap should go to the goal line. Let's take a look. Can't see the line judge, but we can see the head linesman. Let's see what he does. Nope. Well, now he's starting to go back. Yep, okay. He finally got back there. Now, that wasn't fast enough, guys. That needs to be immediate. It's just like when we are inside the 5-yard going in. At the snap, go to the goal line, okay? Now, the referee here is looking at the line judge to confirm that this is a safety. And this is a situation that it doesn't happen that often, and flank officials, really, it's your call. And so Steve suggests the line judge slide step into the end zone. I don't know why. If it was me, I'm a head linesman. I'd be busting in there, mirroring the spot where the quarterback went down, and as I got to that spot, I would signal safety. Just because the referee signals most of the scoring doesn't mean he does everything. So, flank officials, remember this. You make this call. All right. Let's move on. Okay, I'm just going to let this one run. I think you're going to see an obvious foul. Okay. Steve says correct call for excessive contact to a defenseless receiver. Plus, the back judge monitors the defensive back to make sure there's no celebration, which would be a separate unsportsmanlike foul. Great job. Okay. Yeah, they got the foul. There's a lot about this that I'm not that thrilled with. The back judge has given up the goal line. You can tell just by where he's standing, right? He has given up the goal line. That means flank officials have responsibility for the goal line. Now, look, again, I'm a flank official. I know this is tough. 10 yards out. But these guys are just standing there. Okay, let's watch it. I'm going to do it in slow motion. Okay, we know it's a pass. Now the head linesman starts to drift. Good job, I guess. But he's not hustling down there. I mean, he's not getting there. I can't see the line judge, so I'm not going to make a comment on him. Okay, now, let's look at this. That ball right there is beyond the receiver. And that DB has a good 5 or 6 yards between him and the receiver. He does not have to hit this receiver at all. And watch what he does. Lowers his head, launches into the receiver. In my opinion, that's targeting. It's not excessive contact. I mean, of course it's excessive contact, but that's targeting. We want to get the call right. And I don't understand. Well, there's our line judge still standing at the 10-yard line, so he didn't go to the goal line. I don't understand why we don't have more flags on this. I mean, the umpire's looking at it. Both flank officials are looking at it. It should be raining flags right here, okay? And I think you could make a real strong case that this is a flagrant foul. There's no reason for this player to do what he's doing other than to punish the receiver. And this definitely could cause an injury, which is the definition of a flagrant foul. So, I'm glad they got the foul. I'm glad the flag was thrown. But I think this could have been handled better in terms of the number of flags and also at least a discussion of a flagrant foul. Steve obviously doesn't agree with me. He didn't even mention flagrant foul in his comment. I'm okay with that. But in Orange County, I would like to at least see you guys get together and discuss whether this is flagrant or not. All right, let's move on. Okay, we're going to discuss offensive shifting. And guys, trust me, coaches will try to pull the defense offside by moving a lot of guys at the same time. And it's up to us to make sure that that's not a false start. So let's take a look at this one. Keep your eye on these two players. Okay, that's pretty smooth. I wouldn't call that a false start. Now, one of the things you want to keep in the back of your head is if the defense reacts, then maybe you have to reconsider what the offense did. Let's take a look at another one. Okay. For some reason, this clip wants to start after the comment. Okay, so we've got 3rd and 3. So this is a time, again, put it in your back pocket. This is a situation where oftentimes an offensive coach will call for this massive shift in order to draw the defense offside. So we have 7 players moving, including the quarterback. I mean, if this doesn't simulate the start of a play, I don't know what does. Now, watch our flank official. He comes in, got a flag, but he's ruling offside. Now, this is where you need to get together as a crew. Let's watch it from here. Okay. Correctly rule a false start for simulating the snap. Quarterback and a total of 7 players move quickly as the snap is imminent. Okay, so those are all components of the decision you have to make here. And again, this is one you might want to get together and discuss, especially if initially the ruling is encroachment by the defense. All right, let's move on. All right, on this next play, Steve's going to point out that this play really illustrates the deficiencies in a 5-man crew. If we had had a 7-man crew on this game, I think the call would have been different. Going to show it to you and then make some suggestions on how to maybe get the call right. I'm not saying this guy makes the call wrong, but it sure looks like he did. Now this is a good mechanic. He's drifting because there's no threat to his side. That's a good idea. And obviously the quarterback's going to let it go, so start moving. But he didn't have a chance to get down here. Okay, so we can see by that shot. We don't have an end zone shot on this one. See on this shot, pretty sure that foot is in bounds. I mean, he'd have to have some awful long feet to be touching that white stripe on the sideline. This one's a little less clear. Steve says it still looks good. And now we have he's airborne and the ball is crossing inside the pylon. That should be a touchdown if he did not go out of bounds. Now we'll see the flank official come up and mark the ball out of bounds right there. Now, what can you do in this situation? The first thing is, when you see that ball go, and you know it's going to be a long pass, right? My suggestion would be drift and take. You could take a few more steps, but right about there, I would stop and I would straddle the sideline and just make my camera stable. We make a lot of mistakes when we're running, and our eyes literally shake when we run, and it's sometimes difficult to get a clear picture of what you're seeing. And running is not going to get you him being 30 yards away or 40 yards away, whatever this might be. He's just not going to make a better call if he's running full speed. And as you can see when you watch the official come down, he's hauling ass, right? So a tough play. Not saying he got it wrong necessarily, but let's try to freeze that camera on a play like this. And as Steve points out, get together with the back judge, see what he has. It wouldn't hurt to talk this over. It's a very close play. At least sell it a little bit better. All right, let's move on. Okay, if you've been watching my videos for any length of time, you know I'm big on safety. I want you to take a look at this defensive player rushing. He's initially blocked by this, I think he's a tackle, yeah. And watch the actions of the running back. I'm going to run it in real time, and then we'll go back. Okay, what do you got there? I'm going to run for you in slow motion. Okay, this is a good block. I mean, he's got his arms outside, but it's not a restriction. Maybe a little bit, but okay. Now watch the running back. Did you see that? I mean, that is helmet contact, upward thrust. It doesn't matter that he was already engaged. That's targeting. And it should be called. But I think a lot of times we would pass on it because of the double team. And, it's hard to see in real time. That could be considered just shoulder contact. But when you see that head snap back like that, that is a definite indication that we have a dangerous play. Look at that. So I hope you agree with me that that should be a foul. All right, move on. Okay, here's one from my library. And you remember last season we talked a lot about fair catch, valid and invalid signals. Let's go over that real quick. Okay, so casebook, and we have 4 different examples of what the receiver might do. Extending and holding one hand above his head, or partially extending and waving one hand in front of his face, fully extending and laterally waving both hands above his head or in front of his body without extending one hand at arm's length above his head, or extending and laterally waving one arm at full length above his head. So the first 3 are all invalid signals, and that is a foul. It's going to be enforced PSK. The only valid fair catch signal is D, and we want, back judges, you want to be emphasizing to your receivers that they need to do exactly what that says. Extend and laterally wave one arm at full length above the head in order for the fair catch to be valid. Now let's watch what happens here. Okay, it's a little bit out of frame, but he is... there we go. So there's a little arm wave with the right arm, right? He catches it, and he's hit by the kicking team. So we have an invalid fair catch. On that hit, do we penalize the kicking team for that contact? And the answer is no. He is not protected. The receiver is not protected when he gives an invalid fair catch signal. So what we should have here is a we should have a 5-yard penalty enforced from right about the 35 yard line, wherever that kick was actually caught. Right there, looks like it's right on the 35. That's the end of the kick, and 5 yards back, 1st and 10 for R. All right, let's move on. Okay, let's end on this one. This is another one of my Orange County plays. We're going to discuss a foul here that I think goes uncalled quite often. 923 specifies a litany of things that a defensive player can't do. Obviously, he can't hold. He can't use a technique that's not permissible by rule. That last one, contact an eligible receiver who is no longer a potential blocker. Okay, that one causes a lot of confusion. Why? Because, in a lot of these sets, the receivers are blockers, and so contact is allowed by the defensive back. Okay, so when does an eligible receiver is no longer a blocker? What's the criteria? It's when he is past or passing the defensive player. In other words, he's obviously not going to block. Okay, so let's take a look at this play. I think it's a good example of it. Watch the 2 players highlighted. I'll run it in real time, then we'll go back in slow-mo. You see that? Now, okay, it's these 2. Now, the quarterback's rolling to this side of the field, so there is no way we can say that contact didn't have a potential impact on the play. There goes the quarterback. He rolls immediately to that side. Now, there's the start of the contact. The receiver is, he's going past him on the side. He's not blocking, and he gives him a shove, knocks him off his pins, Now the quarterback has to scramble to the other side, and gets a good gain out of it, but that's not the point. And let's go back just one more time. Let's talk about keys. Okay, so the back judge has, it's in trips formation, he has that inside, those two inside receivers, and so that receiver is his responsibility, and good on him. He gets this. Watch the back judge. Boom! Great job. Okay, let's go and look at it from the end zone. Now, this is funny. I don't know what's going on here. We've got a guy running onto the field. This is not a player. And I'm not sure what our back judge is looking at that point. He turns and notices the guy. I'm not sure, again, what's going on. And now watch under the left upright. Suddenly, we get a ball coming in. Right there. See it bouncing? And the back judge sees it. And, you got to kill this. This is a safety issue. That ball, it should not be anywhere near the field. Okay, just kill it. Let that guy on the sideline come over and get it off the field, but don't let this play go off. All right, let's take a look at the contact. Okay, so here's our two players right here. And you can see the offensive receiver is not trying to block. He is beating that defensive player, and the defensive player knows that he's beat, and he gives him that shove. Okay, so that is illegal contact on a receiver. All right, that's it for now. I'm probably making another one of these pretty soon. Until then, have a good day. Well, I hope you enjoyed that Plays of the Week. I'm having a little bit of fun putting these together. Not a whole hell of a lot else to do. Hey, if you liked the video, click the like button. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do so by going to my YouTube channel. You can do so by clicking on my picture, and then there'll be a big red subscribe button. Click that. If you have missed any of these Plays of the Week, just click on that playlist on the left. It'll take you to all of our Plays of the Week. This is Mark Andrews signing off.